cũng bây giờ hồ hòa lý cũng bây giờ tổ xong bây mong gì vả thành mong liền cũng lo hòa sao nó nói cũng thật cho họ rồi cũng tôi chính sự thế hiện cũng tao cũng ít xong rồi dù chú ý mà thổ một tay mình đã sinh đó ý ý là chỉ cứ sinh đó sinh tệ là tên này sinh đó sinh to là tên nó nên nhiều to dù chỉ muốn như thế không trong nó tu sát nữa dù cho ý vì họ tên mình mà nhiều đã sinh đó thế tên mình lo họ thổi trong đó cho ý mà thổi thì tên mình rất tài nên thức kiến nên luôn chỉ một tay mình thằng đó có hồ còn đang emergency cho mấy tài khoản này sẽ ít chứ ở chỗ ý ở số nữa thì cái mà bia chỗ đó thì mua nó thì thứ mua sẽ hơi cái mà sẽ tôi sẽ to hay thôi chỉ cho ý về một tay mình tại sao mà bây giờ tôi sai to giờ thì có một món thì có sản phẩm một tên đó có chỉ cho ý là to hết nên thôi món là chỉ cho ý to giờ thì chỉ thôi món thì cho hồ cho ý có cho ý mà hiện tại chuyển đổi số trong đó này tụi món là thì yêu kia một chỗ yêu chế là chỗ ấy có chơi một tay mình đó ta la đó check in đó thì yêu một yêu thôi là thì em hay là vì yêu ta cái yêu khó hơn nữa thì yêu một chỗ là khó hơn mày đó là thật sự là khó tay mình ở đâyด้วยchỉ muốn hỏi thìอยู่ไม่เชื่อเกี่ยว traffic อ่ะที่มั่วเชื่อเดนี่ไงที่ใช้เกย์หรือเกย์จีโร่เกย์ตั้งเล่โร่เกย์ไปสตาร์โร่เลยจียอโร่จีสิญญาโร่เฮียป้าจียิงชั่วที่ให้เจ้าขอเดียมื่อไหร่ตัวหนึ่งลูกคิดจริงตัวหนึ่งจิมิงเปย์ตัวหนึ่งสัตว์ขอเดียนี่มั่วเกี่ยวเชื่อเราวินี่ฐานลันโดเรามั่วฐานลันโดเราก็มั่วอยู่จอเราอยู่มั่วเกี่ยวเชื่อเราตั้งแต่จะอยู่จีบวันนี้ย้อนนะจะอยู่สายเดียวชั่วโมงหรือเจ้าเขาเกี่ยวป้าตัวอยู่นะจะอยู่สายเดียวก็อยู่อีมาอยู่สายตัวอยู่ที่เขียนอ๋ออยู่สายก็อยู่ตัวเขียนจุดมอนะฟิงตัวจะให้มีการใช้มองว่าจะกูปล่อยจะในยิ่งสายสีชั่วนอกกับตัวนะจะตรงนั้นจะยังไม่ได้จะเป็นตัวแต่อยู่จะเป็นเขาอยู่ถ่าเขาอยู่เขาเต็มเมืองโลจะเป็นอยู่ป้าอยู่ลิจ่าตรงนั้นเป็นยิ่งหูก็เป็นในว่าหรือต่อนอกจากจะเขาคือเสนอตัวป้าไปอ่ะต้นเขาอยู่ถ่าป้าตัวจีเราอยู่นะกับป้าตัวอยู่ตรงนี้ไงกับอยู่มุมต้นตรงนี้นะแต่สมมติเขาจะอยู่สายแต่อจุ่มเลยเจ้าเขาเกี่ยวป้าอยู่ตรงนี้ไง
My name is Snowtow. I've been with the department coming up 3 years in May. Started my law enforcement career pretty late in life. Most of my adult life was in healthcare. I did a year and a half up at the jail. I did a year up at court security as a reserve deputy. And so now I'm here, and this is where I'm hoping to retire and, don't plan on going anywhere else after this department. So, from the area, so this is all I know. Wausau's been my home for as long as I can remember. As far as myself, I've been an FTO, which is a field training officer, just over a year now. Being an FTO takes a lot of patience, a lot of paperwork. A trainee in FTO has 4 phases that they go through, and each phase typically averages between 21, 24, 25 shifts, other than your last phase. Your shadow phase is phase 4, which you come back to your original officer, where it's 5 shifts, and you're kind of there, you're doing everything, and your FTO is just shadowing you to see how much you've improved from your first phase to the end of your phase to make sure that you're comfortable to be on your own after those 5 shifts. We go through spurts where we take a higher volume of calls sometimes for some reason. As far as sexual assaults, a lot of times if it's involving a juvenile, we take the primary initial report on it. We ask just some very basic questions. We don't want to pressure them and push them into answering questions that they're not comfortable with. So a lot of times we will take the initial, we will document everything as much as they're willing to give us, and then a lot of it goes to the detective bureau to have them follow up on it and stuff like that. And they will set up interviews with the Children's Advocacy Center to do a little bit more of a thorough interview. As far as like the domestics and stuff like that, I know a lot of people don't want to report it. A lot of people don't want to have law enforcement involved. A lot of times they want to be able to figure it out on their own within the family, or between the two of them. My biggest thing is there's that paper trail. My fear always is that somebody could be hurting you for years and you don't report it, and then something horrible happens and there's no paper trail of it, no documentation of it, and no one's reported it. I know we've got people who will call and report stuff, but the victim will deny it. So that makes it hard for us as well. I'm all about trying to educate, trying to, continue the learning process of the importance of being able to trust law enforcement. Some people may not want your help at all. They may just want this situation done and over with, and they may not want to ever hear from you ever again. But we still always try to do follow-up just to make sure that everything is okay. So, it's definitely hit or miss with every case and every call.
I'm Officer Kuatel. I've been a police officer for 8 years. My current assignment is a school resource officer to one of our middle schools and the East Side elementary schools. I was a patrol officer for about 6 years before I became a school resource officer. The transition was pretty easy. I enjoy working with kids of all age and hopefully being an influence that they could look up to, or a positive influence overall they can relate to. The three main roles of a school resource officer includes being a police officer, student services, and being an educator. One of my main goals as a police officer is to ensure that the school is safe from people that are looking to do our kids harm here at school. Also, I would follow up on any complaints that stemmed from outside of school that maybe a patrol officer would need help or need assistance with. So regarding student services, my role is to help out school counselors, psychologists, social workers whenever they need something that they don't have access to. As a school resource officer, I have access to the mental health facilities or a crisis worker. I have access to other services, again, that a counselor or a school social worker or a psychologist may not have access to. And as an educator, my role is to help not only students learn about the laws or whatever else there is. I also teach student and staff active shooter response for civilians so that they know how to appropriately respond to such stressful situations. Alongside my role as a school resource officer, I'm also a firearms instructor and also a member of the Marathon County SWAT team. As a firearms instructor, my main goal is to teach and help enhance the skills that our officers have. Being that Wausau is a safe city, we rarely have to use our firearms or any type of deadly force, which makes these skills much more perishable. The main mission of being a SWAT operator or a SWAT team is to save lives, whether that's an officer's lives, innocent civilian, a hostage, or even the suspect's lives. So the Marathon County SWAT team is a multi-jurisdictional team comprising of the Sheriff's Office, Wausau Police Department, Everest Metro Department, Wausau Fire Department, as well as Safer Fire Department and Aspirus Medic.
Hi, my name is Sai Vang. I've been a police officer in the city of Wausau for almost 3 years here. We have a lot of responsibilities and duties here. Some of the responsibilities we have here as police officers are traffic enforcement. Traffic enforcement, it's very important here in the city of Wausau. During a lot of traffic stops, we stop for, it can be something as a minor infraction like a red light violation to, an equipment violation such as, not having, headlights or anything on. And a lot of times, these traffic stops, they can lead to something much bigger. A lot of times, our officers will stop vehicles and we end up finding drivers or people who have, suspended driver's license, revoked driver's license. A lot of times we also encounter people who may have a warrant for their arrest. A lot of times, there are drugs involved, and, with our officers going out there conducting these traffic stops, that can lead us from a minor violation to something, such as arresting someone for, possession of drugs, controlled substances, or people with warrants and stuff. One of the big things with traffic stops, and traffic enforcement that we look for, especially on night shift, is drunk driving or operating while under the influence. There are a lot of different ways that people can be under the influence, having consumed some alcoholic beverages. Sometimes it could be something as, someone has been taking prescription medications. Really anything that, any kind of substance that somebody might take into their system that will impair their ability to operate a vehicle safely there. It's important that if you decide to go out, to a buddy's house or to the bars and, have a good time and have a couple drinks, to make that responsible decision, that if you believe that you might not be able to operate a motor vehicle safely, that there are options out there for you. A lot of bars in the city here, they offer a SAFERIDE program where if you think you've consumed a little bit too much alcohol, you can just go up to the bartender and ask them for, that SAFERIDE program, and they can call somebody. There are a lot of options out there. We have Uber around here, we have taxis, or carpool. Call a buddy, a family, a friend, somebody who's sober, and make that decision, to have a sober party give you a ride home.
I enjoy working nights. I feel like, on nights here, we get our fair share of minor complaints. I guess I would call it minor complaints. Civil complaints, minor disputes between people. We deal with a lot of heavily intoxicated people on nights, especially the weekends and stuff, and it can be difficult dealing with very intoxicated people, and trying to be reasonable with someone and having them understand our perspective, obviously because they're very intoxicated, and their ability to make that decision, it's a little bit more difficult for them. So nights is very different from days, but I think we get our fair shares of a combination of both on nights and days. But I enjoy working on nights, and I enjoy the challenge, and I think working on nights, it gives us a little bit of that extra time to go out and do enforcement, traffic enforcement, and we really, we have the downtime to do it, to go out there and go out and look for vehicles to stop and prevent crime from happening. We do a lot in this job here, but at the end of the day, our job really is to protect and serve. So we're always here for you guys, whether it's, you guys are having issues at home with family, with children, or you just, you need to talk to someone because you're having a bad day. Always remember that we're always here for you.